Hello and welcome to Xena Warrior Podcast Minisodes. My name is Vera and I'm joined as always by my two eruptive co-hosts, Katie.
Hi.
And Livy.
Hi. I'm surprised you didn't say Vulcan. Have you made that joke before?
Vulcanizing?
Volcanologists?
No, I have not. But I expect everyone to know about that joke already. Yes, we are talking about a Hercules episode today.
Oh, interesting.
Called Sky High.
Are we?
It is not
Excuse
about...
me, just gonna knock back a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do shots for the Hercules discussion.
Yum.
But also, there's going to be an important announcement by me.
Oh.
Something has changed in you,
God.
Vera. I just feel like you're a whole new person, and I can't quite put my finger on what it is. So I can't wait to hear.
Yes. Exciting announcement coming up later. A little hint. The state where I'm from, Indiana.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And the other part of it rhymes with bones.
That's
not a hint.
That's a great hint.
Well, anyway, we'll talk about that later. But first, we need to discuss Hercules.
Everybody listening, did they say
Hercules? We sure did.
We did.
We did indeed say Hercules because this was requested by our patron.
Woohoo. What is the prompt for today's episode?
Our patron, Fiona, writes, I'd like to request the Hercules episode Sky High. This episode features Ephiny's first, and sadly last, major appearance on Hercules.
Oh, no.
And she is an absolute badass in it. She kicks goon butt so well it would give Xena a run for her money, and makes having to watch Kevin Sorbo tolerable. Okay, we feel you, Fiona. I also suspect this episode was supposed to tie in with the Dayhawk crossover, as it's set near the centaur village where Solon lives, and just before the episode Maternal Instincts. If you can find any information confirming that on Whoosh or from other sources, I'd love to hear about it.
All right. So
Daniel Cormack Appreciation Hour commences.
yeah, basically this is it. It's not Hercules, it's Ephiny.
Who's Hercules?
Don't you mean Shota?
Oh, shit. Season 5, episode 12, Sky High.
Not the movie.
Not the amazing movie.
I love the movie Sky High. Hard recommend.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it
Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
high
My
school for
husband.
super. Your husband is
I love
Kurt Russell.
I love
Are
him.
you Goldie Hawn?
No.
They're not married.
Oh, well, excuse me, yeah.
She has one-upped Goldie Hawn and put a ring on that.
Wow, I'm very impressed.
You know I
Katie.
love Kurt Russell.
I mean, everybody should love Kurt Russell.
Hopefully he
I'm
doesn't do
all right with
anything
him.
problematic in the next couple days.
I like him in Escape from L.A., not New York.
Not the thing.
Oh, right.
My opinions are very weird about franchises
about
and
all
sequels.
things. I love his square hat.
Just kidding.
Square hat of the thing. But anyway, Sky High is a really fun kind of teen superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
Recommend it if you haven't seen it. Check it out.
Yeah. I liked it too.
This has nothing to do with that.
No.
Yeah, I was bummed out about that.
This episode seems to follow on in the 90s era where people were obsessed with volcanoes.
Oh, okay.
Remember,
contextualize.
Yeah, Dante's Peak and Volcano.
How could we forget?
Yep.
One starred Pierce Brosnan, one starred Tommy Lee Jones.
This is 1997.
97,
These movies, so
these
this is 1998.
This is I think early 99.
Okay, so you have to make
So, you need time to, process the fact that volcanoes were popular and then make this.
Right.
Volcanoes were so in in the 90s.
Super in.
Well, they were pretty much in ancient Greece as well. They erupted
were
a lot.
problem.
they were
In
little
that
bitches.
area.
That's true. Yeah, this is historically accurate.
Yeah.
Especially the part about the Atlantean crystals that explode if they get dry.
Okay, what is the plot of the episode?
Wait.
I've seen it. I've watched it.
Before we get to the plot, don't
Yeah.
forget we have to do directed by John Lang and written by Paul Robert Coyle.
Now, that is a familiar name.
Both of those are names we know from Xena.
Paul Robert Coyle, I believe, wrote Sacrifice Part
2.
2.
But also send in the clones.
Oh,
Never forget.
Right. We
Hashtag.
were really mad at him for that for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
John Lang directed When in Rome. Very well-directed episode.
Nice.
And this was not.
I mean, it's an episode of
It's
Hercules.
an episode of
it seems
Hercules,
like.
yeah.
As we all know, I'm not very familiar with episodes of Hercules.
Yeah.
This is pretty
This is
representative.
the only one I've seen that doesn't have Lucy Lawless in it.
Oh, wow.
Those were better.
I think Vera and I watched one of those, Virginia, there is a Hercules.
I liked that, though.
It was amusing.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun for
It's
me.
basically funny only for fans like us who are super invested in, like, the production team
I know,
who
yeah.
makes these shows.
Fandoms and production teams.
Oh, I lied. I saw that movie with Renee.
Oh, the
Hercules movie,
Yeah.
which is about Atlantis, right?
Sure, I don't know.
Or something.
Wait, with
I have no
Roma
idea, I
Downey
have
as
to
the
say.
queen? Oh no, that's with Lucy as the
Yes.
her sexy
Lila,
guard.
Or no, not Lila. Yeah, I forget
Yeah.
that
Lila's the
character's
centaur
name.
fucker.
Lila the centaur fucker. We've seen a lot of Hercules episodes starring Lucy Lawless.
Yes. Well, this is the first one with Daniel Cormack.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that is the prompt is we have an Ephiny stand.
Yes.
Yeah. And we concur.
We
As
concur,
well.
and
Hats off to you.
you know, Epheny's great, and she's not on Xena nearly enough.
No.
So
Yeah.
it is always nice to see some extra content for her, and her hair is looking amazing
Nice.
in this episode. It is so long. It is like a special effect.
I like the hair. This is my favorite Ephiny hair.
Yeah.
Her look.
I remember actually talking about this in Endgame when she appears very briefly to die.
Yep.
Before the credits.
And I think actually this episode, Sky High on Hercules, is the last time Ephiny will appear in the Xenoverse, like before her death.
Yeah.
So
Because this is
last
airing
hurrah.
concurrently with season 4 of Xena.
Yeah,
Season 5 of
I
Hercules.
think
so not near
I think
the maternal
Fiona,
instinct.
maybe
but-
got a little confused there because this is airing about a year after Maternal Instincts.
Right. So it's in the lead up to the end of Xena season 4.
Yeah, this isn't the village
But-
where Solon lives because Solon's dead.
Solon is dead.
Aww.
He's dead. But it is situated within Dayhawk stuff on Hercules. Is that what?
Yes,
with
the
something
Hercules
happening.
has just done a long kind of like first half of their season was devoted to Dayhawk stuff, among other things, and that just concluded in the previous episode, is how I understand it. None of us, disclaimer, none of us have watched any of these
I
episodes.
want to
of
watch as
Hercules.
little Kevin Sorbo as humanly possible in my life.
But there was that one little reference where Nagus, the centaur's like, I'm sorry about Aeolus, I think. Or maybe Ephiny said
Ephiny
that.
said that.
Ephiny said
Ephiny
that.
She
That
said,
was-
I
oh my
heard about
God.
Aeolus. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
so
like, oh, he must be dead.
He's
Juicy.
dead.
Yeah.
And,
That sounded
and
juicy.
Hercules is like, what can you do?
Yeah, he was.
He was
really
a little bit like
react.
not sad about it.
Oh.
But maybe
Heard.
that's because he can't act. So
So then maybe there would have been a crossover. We might have mentioned this a long time ago between the two shows involving Dayhawk, but that they couldn't do. And then like Kevin Sorbo had health issues that prevented that,
Right.
according to Reddit. But I do remember, this has been so long, but I feel like we brought this up. I do.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, I get the sense that, a lot of Hercules' kind of final seasons didn't go the way the showmakers had intended because of his health problems and also the show itself getting canceled.
That would get in the way.
So, that kind of messed up the Twilight of the Gods arc that they wanted to do on
that
Hercules.
They then
Moved to Xena. And here, they've kind
I
of...
couldn't even verbalize
yeah.
that. I was just it made a bunch of upset noises.
And yeah, I don't exactly understand how things would have worked with the Dayhawk crossover, because we're talking about season 4 of Xena, which is so well put together
Yeah.
as a kind of cohesive story that I'm not sure how you would have had time for suddenly like a giant
Dayhawk
Hercules
thing. Yeah,
Jayhawk
I guess
situation.
Yeah, it seems like it was like an idea
Yeah.
that was around and about.
Maybe
but
they
that,
floated
like,
it
yeah.
and then decided early on not to do it. I mean,
Exactly.
I do get the sense, they include Ephiny here in the hope of, attracting some Xena viewers to Hercules. And
Yep, and it
obviously it
worked.
worked.
So
Here
how
we
many
are.
is she on? Do we know?
Just
Just
this.
this one?
Just
This
this
her
one
only
episode. Yeah.
Hercules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her first and last,
It's
as
not like
Fiona
the gods
says.
were... Oh, that's right. It's not like the gods, like...
Right,
that
who
are-
go back and forth. Yeah.
I mean, the gods do go back and forth.
Yes, I know. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, plot of this ep.
Yeah, what's happening? I was singing 2 songs throughout the entire episode over and over again because I love them.
Yeah.
One of them was Jimmy Buffett's Volcano, and then the other one was Volcano Man from Eurovision Song Contest.
Which
the
we
story of
wrecked on the podcast.
Fire Saga.
Volcano Man!
Don't come after us, Netflix.
Volcano Protector Man.
There's more lyrics.
Yeah. That's all you need to know.
Those are
That's
the
the part
words
that's
we
going to be
know.
stuck in your head.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, plot.
Plot. So Herc is in this village, and Ephiny is there as well. And the village is in chaos because the nearby volcano has started to erupt. And her son, Xenon, remember the horse she birthed,
Never forget.
is...
Horse birth.
Yeah,
Never
he was
forget.
like taken by his cousin. I forget what it was, cousin.
Yeah, his cousin.
To like on some kind of like hunting trip or something nearby. So she's like, "Oh my God, he's near here. I gotta protect this village now because he's like around."
She
and
was
that's why
also
I
like,
care.
such a nice village. It's a shame.
Yeah, she really likes villages. It's nice.
Well, maybe this village was like not racist against centaurs.
Maybe.
Except it seemed like it kind of was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's always a problem with centaurs and humans. Speaking of which, there is a plot about a centaur whose son was murdered by a guy. Basically, all of these people end up being recruited by Hercules to take some Atlantean crystals to the top of this volcano, to throw them into the volcano so that the lava can be redirected away from the village when the volcano erupts.
Like
This
Joe versus the volcano,
is-
but with crystals and not a man.
Not Tom Hanks.
Not Tom Hanks.
I've never seen that movie. Sorry.
I think you should. I've said this before on the podcast. Anyway,
Apparently, I haven't seen this movie either, but it's an homage to a movie from 1961 called The Devil at 4 O'Clock, starring Spencer Tracy and Frank Sinatra.
oh.
Oh, it's interesting. IMDb says it's based on Sorcerer, a movie from 1977 about people transporting dynamite.
Up a volcano.
I don't know if it's going up a volcano.
Oh.
I think it's just
This-
being...
Devil at 4 O'Clock
Transferred.
is dynamite up a volcano.
Oh.
To stop the volcano?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Is that not science?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like...
Ask Pierce Brosnan.
Maybe it is
I think
science.
maybe if you planted the dynamite in a very specific pattern, like,
Oh.
if you had it mapped out, like this is how the volcano will explode and this is the way the lava
The-
will
oh,
be
yeah,
diverted.
okay. It'll
Here,
just,
in the Hercules episode, it felt like chuck the crystals directly into the top of the volcano and it will explode.
Okay,
and
and
that's a
then
good thing.
I've also
Yeah.
gleaned that, like, because they're Atlantean. Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like crystals from
As
Atlantis.
an Atlantean, I concur.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Atlantis. That
Atlantish.
Atlantis? They have to be wet for some
Well,
reason.
Because
like
Atlantis is under the sea.
It is
But,
under
like-
the sea. Yes.
At the time, it is a mysterious place, yes.
Yeah.
Even to Hercules.
I think he's
I
been
never-
there
yeah, I
because
never
of
saw
how he
that
took them.
episode.
okay,
about
he
that.
went there, but it was
Yeah.
underwater?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
Well, they
making
have
shit
to
up.
be wet, and they have to be like constantly wet or they explode.
Because
But then
they
they-
can't rub together, otherwise that'll explode them.
Okay, but then
Oh,
they,
is that the deal?
I think
thought
it
they
is.
literally just had to be dry.
they keep them in the things without the lids on, and I thought that was
Yeah,
dumb.
I thought it was pretty poor decision making. They could have easily put them in barrels with lids.
And
They
that
would have
would've-
not lost all the water that they were
they
so.
would have had like literally 200% fewer problems if they had only just put them in a barrel.
I mean, you might be right that they need to be wet at all times or else they'll explode. Because they were worried about the water. But at the same time, if you lose the water, then they will rub against the little bucket.
The thing is, if they didn't,
explode.
if they couldn't rub against, well, I don't know. So they can rub against water, but they can't rub against like an object. Can't you put them in like a little velvet case? Like a jewel
I think it must
case?
be that they have to be wet. And I'm just thinking about like the scene where he throws it because like Ephiny touched it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. They must
That's
be wet.
what
That
I thought.
That has to be because Atlantis is underwater, as Katie said.
Sure. Science.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, the plot of this is pretty thin, I would say. Mostly about like the emotions of Centaur and guy who killed Centaur's son.
Yeah.
That's kind of the main plot. Ephiny is there to kind of give guidance about how, taking revenge is bad. Because her centaur husband was killed and she forgave the people who did it.
Yeah. I have to say I really loved the centaur, Negus. Yeah, he was really cool. And then I realized that I recognized him from Legend of the Seeker.
Oh.
But I mean, he was also like on Xena. He's been on stuff.
What's
in
Xena?
Olympics.
Yeah, I didn't remember just being
He
a Xena
was.
person.
Let me look it up.
Okay. While you're looking it up.
He was also in the Meg.
Oh my god.
Oh, I enjoyed the Meg.
That's incredible.
I did enjoy
And
that.
Avatar.
I have complicated feelings about Avatar.
Seeds of Faith.
Seeds of Faith.
Oh.
Okay, so
Okay.
he first appears here and then goes to Xena.
Sure.
This was his first acting role.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, he committed himself very well.
Yeah, I love the centaur and how they move and like do the little skips off screen.
I know you do.
It's so
and I
cute.
find that bizarre.
He was a
But
sexy
that's
centaur.
endearing about you.
Vera usually hates silly things, but she loves those centaurs.
They didn't do many wide shots, and even like the wide shots that they did do, I thought it looked pretty good as far as their, the visual effects go. But, whatever, this guy sold it. I believed him. He has like the physicality of a centaur. His hair looked great.
I saw a
It's
tweet
good.
recently that I can't credit because I can't remember who tweeted it, but it was basically that we're all half centaur.
And how are they explaining this?
Because we're half centaur.
Because we are. Oh, because our tops are always centaur
And
tops.
horses are
at
also
some
half
point-
centaur.
Exactly.
Yes. Wow, that's deep. That's really fucking
Your
deep.
mind blown.
It is. I need to take a moment.
Donkeys also half centaur.
No, they're donkeys.
Wait, I don't get it.
They have a horse butt.
No, they have a donkey butt.
Yeah,
Does it look that different? From a
Yeah,
horse
it
butt?
is. Yeah.
Why would they descend from a centaur?
They're different. Don't be like that.
What about a zebra?
This is zebra butt. You can't do any kind of like hooved animal and say that it's half centaur.
Anyway. Ephiny.
Yes. So they have to like team up and take these wagons of this Atlantean crystal
To the mountain.
jars
To the
in-
Atlantish.
To the
to drop
Volcano
into
hole.
yeah. So of course on the way there's like there's the little dude from the Warlord's son.
Yeah, from that silly episode. The silly plot from the episode. Many Happy Returns.
Yeah, so the little Warlord's son, he's here and he's like volunteering to take the wagon up. So there's like a lot of these volunteers, and then they're forcing the guy who killed the centaur son to come along so he can learn a lesson. And there's goons.
There's some really
There's
oh
a
my
gang of
gosh, these are
goons.
the most goonish goons I think I've ever seen. They have like warts, they have bad teeth,
Horrible teeth.
they have this
They have like Tara's
the
hair from
Yeah, I mean,
Xena.
I don't even think this is Tara's hair. This is like bad. This
it's,
is, ooh.
it's as bad as a little Dayhawk child.
Yeah, this is raggedy wigs situation. Mullety rags.
So apparently the guy who plays the murderer, Kurt, he's a like very successful actor now in LA.
He honestly looked familiar in the face to me. But
I mean, he's like that guy who appears in like every episode of something, some kind of procedural and whatnot, but That's, I always commend people for getting careers after their tiny little role on Xena.
Yeah, for sure. That's always fun.
So, Ephiny.
Her parts, I would say, I'm trying to rank them. What's best? Probably number one for me is that bit where she is cleaning out not Negus's shoes. There's a lot of stuff with the draft horse, who's very sweet.
Yeah, there's a lot of
good draft horse action.
Draft horse action. A lot of close-ups of hooves, centaur and draft horse.
Yeah. So there's this really cute scene of her changing the
horse's shoe,
horseshoe, and
well, she's like cleaning it out. She's not changing
she's
it.
not really changing it, but I think she's supposed to be.
It reveals some information.
So yeah, she talks about how she does this for Xenon
all the time.
And he hates it.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, you had a child who was a horse.
Who is part horse.
Yeah.
Always reminding us.
Just needing to remind us once again. That was a good bit, I thought.
Yeah, that was cute. I mean, her outstanding moment, of course, is when she takes out that entire gang of goons. By herself, really.
She does some, sort of a war cry flipping situation that was very, very Xena-ish.
Yeah. She fights them big time. She does this crazy thing where she takes a reed and, throws it.
Yeah, she fashions it into a dart and
it
goes through a guy's hand.
The leader,
intensely.
the goon leader's hand gets totally, impaled by this reed.
Yeah, seems fake, but...
But
okay.
but it's also I believe this to be an Amazonish thing that
totally.
Xena wouldn't know about this.
I appreciated that.
Ephany's special Amazon trick.
Yeah.
It reminds me of those early episodes with Amazons like Hooves and Harlots where they would come down from the where they would come down from the trees. Them using nature as their kind of weapon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely a cool moment.
Yeah. And of course, I did like her scene with Negus and talking about racism against centaurs. And it was also kind of annoying because he immediately changed his tune about her as soon as he was like, "Oh yes, you're the centaur fucker."
Yeah.
And then he suddenly had all this respect for her.
Well, yeah, of course. She goes from being, someone he isn't sure he can trust to being a friend.
And so they were really sweet together. So they're going up this volcano, and Hercules is doing the thing that he does, classic Hercules, picking up the styrofoam rocks, throwing them.
So strong.
And, so strong.
That seemed to be literally his only role this episode. That was his job in the mission.
Yeah.
Was to pick up the rocks
I
and
guess
throw
that's
them.
cool. That doesn't do much.
I guess so.
I mean, he's always picking stuff up because that's what he's known for.
It's just so weird to go from Xena to this, strong. Where that's his thing.
He's known for picking stuff
up.
He's a strong guy.
I think we talked about that maybe amongst ourselves.
Sure.
They're two different styles of fighting.
Picking up stuff and fighting?
Yeah, well, he's always picking stuff up. He's always holding a building on his back as people escape, and then he's always punching somebody sort of defensively. Meanwhile, Xena kills them with her sword. So anyway, he's picking these rocks up and so that the horses can get through, and one of their carts explodes. Oh no! Because of stuff. And then basically they end up needing and then the goons shoot another horse, so that horse is out of commission, but he's fine. So they need a horse to take the wagon, so of course they recruit our centaur.
Even though Hercules
could have easily done it.
And he just doesn't, he avoids the question. I feel he literally just is I have too much dignity to do it, which is really vain of him, I gotta say.
Well, if he's pulling it, who's taking the rocks?
Picking up the rocks.
Yeah, that's
Can't
the thing.
he just avoid the rocks? Can't he just pull the cart around the rocks?
There are times where the rocks seem like the car could totally go around it, but I guess it's extra, problems for the car in case the rocks explode.
They can't bake hard turns.
No, that's
rocks
an old
that don't
ass
have
wagon.
a lid on them.
Yeah. And the rocks are super heavy because at one point he's doing something, he can't get to another rock, and the rock needs to be moved, and Kurth, the murderer, is trying real hard to move it, but he's not strong enough.
Just won't shift.
So the centaur has to pull the cart now. And they get to this rope bridge.
Everybody loves a rope bridge.
Who
You
doesn't?
know, we've seen it on Xena many a time, probably seen it on Hercules many a time. It's their
Always
favorite rope
very
bridge.
tense.
And of course, the number one thing that happens on a rope bridge is that either the wood goes, like your foot goes right through the wood.
Right through the step, yeah.
Yeah, which does happen to Ephiny.
And then
Yep.
she's out of commission the rest of the episode.
Yup.
Oh yeah, it's just a hobble around.
Yeah.
Sad.
Bad
She
rope
hurts.
bridge accident.
Yeah. And then the other thing that always happens on a rope bridge is that somebody always cuts off one part of it.
Yeah.
So one of
It
the
falls
hand-holdy ropes falls. And
Rude.
this is the goon leader. He's doing this shit. So we have the final like rope bridge sequence with Hercules taking out these goons. Am I remembering that correctly? I don't even
think
remember.
so.
Probably.
Yeah.
When in doubt. Mostly at this point, I was getting really pissed off because I was like, wait a minute, Ephanie's injured? Is Ephiny, like, not going to do anything for the rest of this episode? Oh my god, how rude to, like, get her to be a guest star and then sideline her.
Yeah, they go into this cave and she's like super, like her like super hurts and she's like, I can do
She's
it,
like,
I
I
can
can
do
be
it.
a part of it. And they're like,
And
no,
Hercules is
no.
like, no, you sit down. Us men will do it.
Great.
Yeah.
Hooray.
But at least the show was kind of conscious about it because they put it in their like little end credit. Yeah.
What was the disclaimer?
It says, Ephanie's leg was not hurt in the production of this motion picture. However, the writers sincerely apologized to Amazons everywhere for excluding her from the big finale.
Huh. I wonder if that is a nod towards there being some kind of, discussion about it in the writers'
Maybe.
room.
Certainly for me, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're
just
making her
frustrating.
sit out this final beat? Like, that's nuts.
After having this whole episode
Yeah.
about getting the stuff up the mountain. It
Yeah.
would be like if Samwise Gamgee, like, took a break right before they, like, go up Mount Doom,
Yeah, he's like, I can't carry anymore. I'm sorry, bud.
Good luck, guys. I'm out.
Yeah, so she sits it out, and it's just Nagus the centaur, the guy who killed his son, and Herc, and they carry the rest of it on their bodies.
I can't carry it for you, but
Yeah,
I can carry you.
Oh boy.
No, his little leg is hurt. He can't. Frodo has to crawl up there himself. So they get up there and they start like having discussions about how to get that stuff, the rocks, the crystals into the volcano, blah, blah, blah.
Hercules is, like, volunteering to do it, and everybody's like, no, you can't do that, because then you'll die, and then there won't be a Hercules show anymore.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And then Kurth,
Yeah.
while no one's looking, kind of, like, just takes them and goes up, and Nagus is like, no!
Yeah.
Because, like, I guess he's atoning for having killed Nagus' son.
Which seemed to be like an accident, but at the same time, it like
Yeah, it was never
wasn't-
quite clear on what
it
went
wasn't like
down.
straight up murder, but it was like an accidental killing. It was like
complicated.
manslaughter.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
Kurth atones by throwing himself into the volcano. I have the higher ground. Oh, no.
I thought you were gonna do My Precious.
Oh, also that. There's a lot of great volcanic
moments.
climaxes.
So a big explosion occurs. The volcano erupts, but thankfully the lava goes the exact right place that they wanted it to go, which is away from this village.
Good.
And the village is saved.
Well done, team.
And Ephanie's like, oh yeah, Xenon got back from his hunting trip. He's
Phew.
totally fine.
Xena not appearing in this episode.
So, that's kind of it.
That is an episode of Hercules.
But Ephiny, always lovely, will watch her do anything.
Yeah, and then we just wish that she could have kicked even more butt. She could have thrown those crystals herself.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be like, shut up, men, from
just
fighting, and
lob
grabbed
them through
all
the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she should have just been like, you fucking men, you just chill, and I'll do it. And then she throws it and saves the day.
I feel like Ephiny definitely would have had the idea to just put a lid on those buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Overruled by the mansplainer, Hercules.
Ugh.
Actually, Ephiny, the water.
Disappointed.
Oh my gosh. So why is it? It's called Sky High because the eruption goes towards
Sky
the
high.
sky.
They blew it sky high.
Oh boy.
Not as good of a pun as the movie Sky High.
About a high school in
About
the
a
sky.
high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was certainly an episode. Like seeing Ephiny.
Yeah.
She's great.
She could have been in way more Xena.
Yeah, she
it's
fucking
frustrating.
could have been.
Yeah, and kind of a bummer that even here, I would love an episode about Ephiny. I feel like she never really kind of gets that
Like
focus.
her own,
And it's always about her man horse and her baby man horse.
That does bother me a bit.
Baby man horse.
She's cool in her
AKA
own
centaur.
right. I mean, she made these very brave decisions that upended her whole life, and I
Yeah.
get that that's always gonna define her character to a certain extent. But
Yep.
she's very cool.
Ephiny the centaur fucker.
And deserves more. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely deserved better than being killed off in the teaser of an episode of Xena. I will never forget that.
No, it's literally the next thing that she shoots for Xena, I
that's
think.
so upsetting.
I think, unless I don't know about some other appearance somewhere.
Yeah, it doesn't
She's
seem
so
like
great.
There's not that many months in between.
We just recently
4 months.
enjoyed her on the Secret City,
Oh, yeah.
a Netflix show. Well, it's an Australian show on Netflix, starring Anna Torv, guys,
Torv.
and also Daniel Cormack. It was very good. Her name's Karen.
Her
Don't hold it against her.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it's
I
a
know
great
many
name.
good Karens.
Yep. My big announcement.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, it has finally happened.
Oh my god, I feel the
What
tension.
has happened?
It's like electric.
What could it be?
I have seen all of the Indiana Jones movies.
What? For 4 years.
Not just four, right?
Crystal
the fourth,
Skull.
not just the fourth one.
Yeah.
But the third one,
All
the
of
second one,
them.
and the first one.
Oh
For
my
4
god.
years, this has been running
Yes.
throughout this podcast.
Yeah.
4 long years of Vera having never
Not
seen
seen
anything
it.
but the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I've ridden on the Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland,
Land.
but I have not. Those references, I was like, I
Didn't
don't
get
know. There's a rock.
Didn't understand them. Just a ride.
Only Crystal Skull. But now,
A
Which I
ride
doubt
in
you
know
could
it
have
all.
understood that
You've
well.
never been on it.
And that's the only Indiana Jones you'd seen at the time. You were probably just like,
like-
I like Kate Blanchett's hair.
and Kate Blanchett's acting as Colonel Dr. Irina Spalko.
Yep,
Is that her name? I
That
gotta
sounds
fact
right.
check myself.
that sounds very right.
But you guys, it has happened.
Yeah,
I don't know how to feel about myself.
You don't know
yeah.
how to feel.
No, it feels weird.
You
It
get
feels,
it now. I feel like there have also been like 30 Indiana Jones jokes
Yeah.
that have happened
And I finally
on
get
other
them.
places.
I
and you
get it.
now.
It's weirdly
It's
in
clicked.
the zeitgeist right now. I feel like it maybe just
Yeah.
because summertime is the time for watching
Indiana Jones because it's hot where he goes.
I don't know.
To rate his
it's
tunes.
Uh,
it's one of the original blockbusters, and
Yeah.
blockbuster season used to be in the summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I've just seen references to it lately, and lo and behold, now we sat down and watched them all.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I mean, you know, I have a unique opinion.
As you always do.
So I mean, it was interesting seeing where all the jokes come from. Like, for instance, there was a lot of Indiana Jones references in Xena that you guys
for
were
sure.
constantly like.
I think that's why Crystal
Yeah.
Skull kept coming up.
That's right. Not just because I like to talk about it.
Obviously, with Janice, she's kind of a riff on Indiana Jones.
Yeah. But I enjoyed learning where even more references, like Frau Verbissina from Austin Powers. I did not.
Is that
I was
one
like, my
lady
mind was
from-
blown that it's clearly a reference to this Nazi lady. From,
Oh my God, in the
which
third
one is
one.
the third one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
third one. It's all the Nazi ladies.
Yeah.
Well, okay, rank them
Oh God. Well,
according to Vera.
as my opinion is extremely unpopular.
Still,
okay.
Crystal Skull number one.
Still.
Do I need to start throwing coins into the empty problematic jar?
We all know, we've talked about Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is a problematic franchise. It's old. It does a lot of things that are highly, highly, highly problematic.
Yeah. I mean, I watched this not correctly. You guys, everyone listening and whatnot, and certainly people at this table.
What's correctly?
Correctly is you grow up with it and you watch it as it is, and you watch the fourth one, you're like, this is trash.
No.
Why is this happening?
But it's like, I don't know, there's no such thing as correctly,
Yeah.
number one. But like, because I watched the third one 100 times because it came out in 1999, and that's when I was a kid, and I like saw that one the most because it was like the newest and on tape, and that's the one I watched. So I have, like, even though I've seen multiple times the first two, like I have seen the third one 800,000 times. Is that the correct
I don't know.
way
Maybe.
to watch Indiana Jones? I don't know.
I think so.
Because you did the same thing.
I did. Except I think we only had the first, the second one and the third one on tape. I don't think I really saw Raiders until later. And I was like, wow, there's this other Indiana Jones movie that all the dudes like. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing is that I think every single one of them should have a half hour chopped off. And they are all way too long.
Yeah, they're, you know.
And they're all, like, just stunts
They all
nonstop.
have a lot of chase sequences.
Now, I've seen a movie with nonstop stunts. It's called Mad Max Fury Road. And now that was filled with character moments and just, like, perfection. And these, for the most part, weren't. Like, I mean, it got better the later it went. 3 and 4 were the best as far as character stuff.
I'm sorry, what was that?
3 and 4 were the best
As
as
far
far as
as
characters.
And
4 as far as character.
You were trying
strong
to
character.
squish that in there.
Strong character
You're
development.
saying that Indy 4
With Indy and Marion and Mutt?
Best for characters.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just try to follow the argument.
Because the first one, like, you don't know anything about anyone.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
I think it's more of like a mood piece, you know? Like, you're like, you know, it's like that
and the mood is action.
The mood is action and, like, swagger.
Yeah, swagger is correct. And, I mean, that's, you know, that was, what's her name? Karen?
Karen Allen.
Is
a good Karen.
A good Karen.
Marion is the character's name. Sorry.
Marion was introduced really awesomely. She could, like, drink a dude under the table. And she owned her own bar in, like, Malaysia or Mongolia, right?
Yeah,
and
I think so.
And then she's just, like, kind of needs to be rescued, and that's kind of a bummer. But I get it. It's like from a time. You need Indy to do it because he's the dude, and look at him. He's so sexy. Everyone's obsessed with him. Yeah, I loved the second movie a lot more than the first one. It was a riot. Willie Stan right here. I fucking stan her. She screamed her way through that movie, and you know what? She's allowed. We are allowed to have a female character like that. It's like early Sansa Stark. Everyone hated her. I was like, she's allowed to have her opinion.
It would be me and most of us.
She just wanted the diamond. She wanted to, like, you know, be rich and live happy. And she was taken on an adventure that she definitely did not think she was going to be on. And let her scream it out. It was hella racist as a movie. Yeah. And, like, you know, shockingly so at times.
Yeah, it is deeply offensive. And I mean, I enjoyed watching it again with you guys because I think there's, like, that fun stuff in the performances. But I watched it for the first time again since I was a kid, like, recently, like, on a plane. And I was just sitting there, like, gasping the whole time because I, like, did not remember what it was like.
Yeah, my goodness. The third one has the worst lady character, Elsa.
Sure.
I mean, she's cool, you know, not.
Do you like how they try and make her
style.
to be like?
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's not like a bad Nazi.
No.
I thought that was, like, the worst, like, thing. It's just like I was just like, you know what? Just have her, like, be a bad Nazi. I was like, they're trying to make her sympathetic because they, like, this is, like, the lady for the movie, and I'm like, no. I feel like at one point she was like, I'm not really into it, or whatever. I forget what she said.
Yeah.
But it was,
something
like,
along those
really
lines.
stupid.
She was like, I love the Grail stuff, not all the rest of the Nazi stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't think you're even allowed to do that, personally.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of makes you worse.
I love that the bad guy of that one was the actor who plays Pycelle on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Julian
We
Glover.
love him. We've seen him at Dragon Con.
Yeah. Good dude.
And
Iconic death scene.
but aren't they all like for like the Raiders too, right? That's
Raiders
iconic.
also has like, vaporizing people.
Yeah, I mean they all do. Like that's kind of I love that that's the staple of the ending of an Indiana Jones is that
Get
the
vaporized.
the person who's seeking the thing the most
will
get it and get vaporized. And so that's pretty cool and consistent. I like that. I also really like that Elsa's. I think Luke was inspired Dan Kruger in Inglourious Bastards. I saw a little bit of that in that.
It's just like maybe a
blonde
fashion
fashion Nazi.
Fashions
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
Just as a
lend
film
themselves.
buff, I feel like Tarantino might have.
Yeah.
I mean,
taken
I'm
a
sure
little bit.
Tarantino loves Indiana Jones.
Her clothes were very good.
but she was like a snooze fest.
She was,
But Sean Connery
I
was
love
there.
Sean Connery
Yeah.
in those movies. He's a problematic person too. But
Sean Connery?
Yeah, he
Like IRL?
has like serious domestic abuse.
Oh
concerns
no!
around him.
Well, he was never my favorite Bond.
and he is not
Pierce
sorry about
Brosnan
it.
all the way.
Yeah. Yes, agree. Totally agree. Hard agree. But I watched like Katie watched Last Crusade constantly growing up, and like I love that father-son relationship.
Wow.
That to me is just like so good.
I love a father-son relationship in the fourth one.
Oh boy! All right, here comes. Ready.
What?
I liked it.
Oh, it's much better than like we saw it in that swirl of discourse about the fridge and the Star Wars prequels were still fresh on everyone's mind. It was so hated, and like seeing it now, you're like, it's a movie.
I enjoyed it much more. I feel kind of bad for making fun of Vera and hating on it so much. It is no more ridiculous than anything that happens in the first three.
Agreed.
It does stuff with parallel universes, and it is
the space between spaces.
Because he didn't want to do
it. It is super duper bananas that Spielberg did not want to call what is so clearly aliens. Like aliens,
interdimensional beings,
but
from the space between spaces.
And I don't know if it's just maybe people had an issue with that because it's like less rooted in some kind of reality, where like the first three movies are about religious stuff in some capacity. All three are about like real world religions, and then this one's big thing is about interdimensional beings from the space between space.
But they're all rooted in like reality of these
paranormal
seekers.
Stuff.
So
the evil baddies
I
looking for
cult,
that.
reconsideration of Crystal Skull. It's not so bad.
It's not.
It's fun.
Really not.
It's pretty fun.
Rewatching it, I loved it even more. I mean, in context, rewatching it, I loved it even more.
The whole 50s setting is fun.
So here's the
see
genius.
Indy there.
Let's do the genius aspects of Crystal Skull. Okay, so it I have to say is like better directed. I don't know. That was Spielberg being forced to do digital, right?
Yes.
I think you're talking a little bit more about 20 years ish
and I think
between,
he is
and
better
it's like a modern
literally.
sensibility. Well, obviously, hopefully, you get better with 20 years. Which he's amazing director, Steven Spielberg. But I do feel like the modern sensibility of it, and I hate saying this because I like all kinds of cinema, but I do think that like the first two movies do drag, and Crystal Skull doesn't, because it's a little bit more.
And Kate Blanchett appears
paced.
in the first 10 minutes. She's there immediately, so you're immediately intrigued.
That's true. Usually the villain does not appear so
and
quickly.
What a villain, quite
She's
iconically.
a little bit in her own movie.
She is, and it's great. But okay, so she's this Eastern Ukrainian, works for the Nazis.
She's
obsessed
Stalin's fair-haired girl.
Right, but she dyed her hair specifically because of that.
She doesn't want to be known as Stalin's fair-haired girl anymore.
The Russians were totally into crazy mind control and anything that would get them, to win the Cold War. And it's also it comes from like reality, even and as a fan of what is it, ancient astronaut theory.
Just
in a fun way.
Yeah,
Vera telling on herself.
it was fun to have this like alien, not really alien, but clearly alien aspect of it. And there are crystal skulls in museums all over the world, and like there's a lot of crazy shit in this earth that you're like, what is it? And the Nazca lines are definitely
and that was in the movie.
Some nutty things that exist. So anyway, I liked it a lot. Kate Blanchett was awesome. She had a sword.
You're so cute right now. You're like, ooh.
There was a scene where monkeys hopped on her.
Okay, that was like an extensive chase scene.
There was.
Did not
I think every Indiana
Yeah.
Jones has a chase scene that goes on for far too long.
See, that what happens is that it has nonstop like chase scenes or stunts or whatever, and you're like, okay, phew, it's done. This movie's over. And then it's like, no, now it's time for the climax of the movie where they find the thing. And then that also includes a half hour of craziness.
Elaborate, yeah.
So that's why they're always a little bit too long, just because they can always cut out like an extraneous chase scene. But I thought that the early ones were like a lot more. Anyway, there was a rope bridge in the second one.
There was.
And it was real good.
Fun rope
Reminds
bridge
you of
action.
Hercules.
Yeah. I was like, I get rope bridges even more now.
Willie really hated that
I
rope bridge.
fucking love Willie. Anyway, it feels strange to have seen it now.
Yeah, you can't watch it again. You watched it. No going back.
So,
You get
What
the
else have
fuss
you
is
not
about.
seen?
yeah, what else? I mean,
Back
as far
to the
as
Future.
I've seen
3.
those. I've seen that once.
Oh, you did see it. Okay.
But like ages ago. But yeah, this was a big one, and I'm glad it happened.
Good. I'm trying to think now. What have you done?
We'll come up with something, I'm sure.
Well, end of an era. Vera
Yeah.
is now an Indiana Jones fan
Yeah.
Yep.
and has seen them all.
Yay.
Congratulations.
You definitely
Thank
live
you.
in a world they made as these proto blockbusters.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
So thank you, patrons, and
Yes, thank you.
Follow us on all the stuff and things.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh yeah.
We have
Speaking
one more
of-
thing to talk about.
Yes.
It's very quickly. Just to tell everyone to watch The Old Guard on Netflix, because I think everybody listening will love the shit out of this movie. With
Really
Charlize
good.
Theron. Very cool plot. I almost don't want to say anything about it, because
Agreed.
like if you don't know
Yeah.
anything about it, it might be cool going in it. It's based on a graphic novel, which I did not really know. I honestly did not really know anything about this movie. It just kind of appeared and people were talking about it, and I was like, what? And then I watched it and I was like, holy shit. Really cool world building. If you're looking for something to watch.
The action in it was amazing.
Yeah.
The action's
Talk about
awesome.
action.
I usually get kind of grouchy about like modern action movies, but I thought this was super cool, kinetic, and
Yes.
easy to follow, and awesome.
I think that modern action movies have like better choreography and just better things that they can do. Are you talking about like the blender of
Yeah.
like a Avengers type of
Yeah.
action?
Yeah.
This
Marvel
is not it.
action.
This is like
Superhero
Remember
action.
Atomic Blonde? Like the choreography
Right.
of that
Was
action.
amazing.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
that. Charlize fucking has a gift with action scenes.
She's amazing.
So yeah.
Watch it. Sweet.
Yay.
Okay, that's all.
Okay. Follow us on all the stuff and things.
XenaWarriorPodcast.com. You can go there and find everything you want. There you can download episodes. You can like find links to stuff, including like links to Apple Podcasts where you can like subscribe and rate and leave reviews and all that stuff. And then we're on Twitter at XenaWarriorPod and Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, Xena Warrior Podcast. And then, of course, Patreon, patreon.com/XenaWarriorPodcast, where you can find our Lucy Law's IMDb Experience new episode dropping now/soon-ish.
Soon-ish.
And then also, if you're following along there, like we're actually getting very close to Spartacus. So if you haven't seen that in a while and want to refresh your like memories on that, maybe go watch some Spartacus. Okay, bye.
The power.
The passion.
The podcast.